one of the topics this week was, is Trey Lance happy? Does he want to get traded? Did he privately ask for a trade? Would the Niners consider trading him now that they're so encouraged about Brock Purdy and his recovery? And my dad has something to say about that.
I think they would be nuts to trade him at this time. And I'm going to say something. I was driving home. I had dinner at Iggy's last night. I was driving home and I had on I don't usually listen to sports talk, but I had it on. And some guy who I don't know was talking about another guy I don't know and said this other guy said they should trade Trey Lance to end the confusion for the fans.
That's the reason.
And the confusion for the fans.
For the fans.
Now, look,
that's good.
That may be a valid point of view, but I don't think the 49ers give a shit about the fans in that regard. They're going to make their own decision, and they're not going to – it's not like John Lynch is going to go to Kyle and say, boy, the fans are all confused. Let's get rid of this Trey Lance so the fans will feel better. And we'll
Someone think about the fans, please.
Someone think about the fans. So what I think is they don't know when Brock Purdy's coming back. They say they know, but they don't know. And they don't know who's better, really, between Sam Darnold and Trey Lance. You don't end this. You don't get 1/3 of the triangle out. This guy may turn out to be really good, and they may need him. So they would be nuts-a-rama to get rid of him, especially so the fans won't feel confused.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, just because all indications with Brock Purdy are good after a week and a half of him throwing a football, that doesn't mean he's going to start week 1 or he won't have like some type of setback at some point down the line. So even if, let's say Trey Lance heard the report that the Niners are pretty much expecting Brock Purdy to start week 1 and he got discouraged and privately went to Kyle or John and said, hey, man, like enough's enough. If I can't start here, could I please go somewhere else? From their perspective, it's like, I know why you feel that way, Trey, and we hate holding you hostage, but we can't do that. We can't do that. Like, we don't, until we have Brock back playing back like he was last year, 100% healthy and in rhythm, and we can't trade you, dude. Sorry. We need you. Sorry.
The Niners are not in the business of making Trey Lance's dreams come true.
They already did once.
Yeah, they did. And they're in the business of having a really good football team. And they may need this guy. So, you know what? Also, he's under contract, right?
Yeah.
And he's making a lot of money.
A lot.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Sometimes life is tough. It's been tough for everybody. So for me, I don't have anything against Trey Lance, but his feelings and the feelings of the fans don't matter to me, and I don't think they should matter to the organization. And I'll say one other thing, Iggy. Let's say Brock Purdy does start game 1, and let's say he's really good.
Mm-hmm.
When's Kyle going to get him hurt? He could get him hurt in the 5th game.
Thank you.
He can get him hurt in the 3rd game.
Correct.
So they need this kid because the other one's going to get hurt. It's the thing about him getting hurt in that championship game. That wasn't a fluke. No. It's how the guy coaches.
Yeah.
So he's going to get him hurt.
No, the proof is Josh Johnson getting hurt in the same game.
Yeah, right. He gets quarterbacks hurt. So I think they really need Trey Lance, and they need Sam Darnold because then he's going to get Trey Lance hurt.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. That's the thing. Even if Brock Purdy is fully cleared on August 20th or whatever, and everything looks great, and he starts week 1 and he wins, like that doesn't mean he's going to last 17, 20, 21 games and win the Super Bowl. And that's not even any knock against him. It's Kyle Shanahan's pattern. He goes through quarterbacks really quickly. So unless Sam Darnold has this career renaissance, which hasn't happened yet on the practice field, your best option is Brock, and then it's Trey.
Yeah.
It's not Sam. It's not Brandon Allen.
No. So as a result, you may crush this kid's feelings. Say, you know what? We need you. We heard what you said. We're not going to do anything at this time. Live with it. That's the answer. Right.
That's what. Look, I don't know that he requested a trade. I have no idea. It just seems like something that, frankly, I would do in his position, and I wouldn't fault him if he did it. If he did it probably in a private, polite way. Like, hey, guys, no disrespect, but what do you say? And they're like, Trey, we love you, man. We can't do that for you. I would imagine. And so he's back at practice. He looked like he was. I had a video of him and Kyle Shanahan laughing, talking to each other. I had a video of him and George Kittle dancing together. It seems like he's not, having the worst days of his life. It seems like he's having a good time.
They were dancing? I didn't see that video.
Dancing! They were dancing.
Let me ask
I'll
you a
post
question. Who's a better dancer, Kittle or Trey Lance?
That's a good question. I would have to say Kittle. Not because he's more technically gifted. I just feel like he's a little less self-conscious. And to be a good dancer, you can't be self-conscious.
It's true. It's true.
So, nothing against Trey. He's just a little bit younger.
Yeah.
I'm with you. They're not going to trade him. And, I don't think they're going to trade him week 1 or the trade deadline either. I think he's going to be here for a while.
No, this thing about trading him is just talk. It's media talk. It has nothing to do with reality.
Yeah, they would never do it. One thing I want to say real quick before we move on. So, George Kittle kind of talks like the coach of the team. And if you ask him about the quarterbacks, he'll break it down, like what he thinks and what each one's doing well. So he was asked this week at minicamp about each quarterback. He was asked about first Trey and then Sam. And he found the nicest things to say about both of them. I want to get your take on what he said. For Trey, he said that he's way better than he was last year and that he finally is playing with confidence and seems to be having fun. He kept stressing when a guy doesn't have confidence, you can tell. And he finally is playing with confidence. That was the nicest thing he could say about Trey. And with Sam, he said he's learning the offense. He's picking it up, and you could tell he's better than he was in OTAs, but he's learning the offense. That was his summation of both quarterbacks.
Let me say about Sam, learning the offense is no praise at all. In other words, it's like saying he's breathing. Mm-hmm. He comes to
it's like he's working hard.
Yeah, he's working hard. So that's he's given him no praise at all.
No praise.
But the other guy's saying I can see he's more confident. I think that actually is praise.
I agree.
I think that's praise. Iggy, I have a question for you.
Sure.
You've stressed a lot that on the follow through, he shouldn't be an arm thrower. He should use his lower body and not lock the front leg too soon. Yeah. Has he succeeded in that?
He's not every single time, but he's much better at it than he was before. And one thing I've seen from him, which I think is a really good thing, not locking his front leg is going to prevent him from getting arm fatigue, and it'll reduce the arm soreness. But one thing he did too much of was he would throw too hard. Like picture a shallow cross. It's just like Jerry Rice running right in front of the offensive line. You just want to hit him in stride. He would throw that pass really hard, like with the full arm motion. And that throw is kind of just like a little, a flick. And with the short little throws in training camp, you're actually seeing him do that for the first time in 3 years. He doesn't throw them as hard as he can. I think that's a big stride for him.
I'm going to put on my jacket.
A little wrist action. Wrist action. Yeah, okay. All right.
Keep talking.
I kind of compare him to the pitcher who fields a ground ball and doesn't know how to get it to first base. You know what I mean? That short throw, it looks so easy, but all of a sudden, I think you're listening to me.
No, I'm listening. I had to put on my jacket.
Yeah, like he was the pitcher who couldn't get the ball to first base after he fielded the ground ball, but now he can. So I think that's good.
Kaepernick was like that too.
He
threw too hard on the short passes, right?
Yes. And Trey was like that early on in his career. And I think in training camp so far, he's much better at getting the ball out quickly and without throwing it as hard as he can. Yeah.
Brock Purdy is good. He's good at that, isn't he, Brock Purdy?
He's great at that. He's great at throwing screen passes. He can throw sidearm. He can get the ball out quickly. He doesn't throw the ball that hard to begin with. Very catchable ball. He's great at that.
Iggy, when you're down there for the mini camp and OTAs, is he around, Brock Purdy?
Yes. You see him walking from the facility to the, not the trainer's room, but that outdoor weightlifting facility.
With all the weights and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, you'll see him walk over with like a backwards hat.
Does he throw?
Haven't seen him throw. Not in front of the media. I will imagine that will be during training camp, like Jimmy last year.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, until we see him throwing on a side field for a few weeks, I'm not really thinking he's close to coming back. So he's still got another 2 months to go or something.